Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Crow. Hope you guys are doing great. Today we're back with episode 52 of Genshin Impact. Update 3.2 just got live and I'm really excited to I guess finish off the Archon quest. But in a way, they did say that this is not going to be the finale of the story for Sumeru. But I'm just glad that we're finally going to finish the main storyline that we've been delved into so far for Sumeru. Okay, I guess let's just go ahead and get right into the game because I'm very excited to pull for Nahida. I'm starting off with my alternate account actually. I'm a bit reluctant to be honest to pull for Naida, but what I'm going to do here, I want to talk about my planning for the banners. Okay, let's talk about the banners real quick. I was planning to skip her, but then again I do need a good another good dendro unit that gonna match well with my Nilu, which I accidentally got. Oh no, Nilu is not accidentally actually. It was the key that was I accidentally got, and it's a bit of a funny but painful story. I was trying to gun for the Jade Cutter, but well, I know the weapon banner is a trap, but I was try to gamble my way through it as well, but sadly I did get the key and I had enough primo gems after collecting a little bit to roll for the second 5-star in that banner, and I top up a little bit just to guarantee me to get a 5-star. And you know what I get? I get an Amos bow. You know, I wouldn't have been triggered if I got something else. You know, maybe the Skyward Blade. That is actually a good sword, and since I don't have any 5-star sword at all, that would have been good actually, and maybe I could use it for my Bennett or even my Kazuha, to be honest. But regardless, I got another bow. I'm starting to feel that Hoyo really want to push my alternate account to a bow using team, which I already have. But at least on the bright side, I can give back the Skyward Hub that my Ganyu was using to another character. So, but because I got so triggered that I got another bow, so I went ahead and just go all out on my purchase and pretty much just guarantee my Jade Cutter. So yeah, kind of waste of money, not gonna lie. But regardless, so initially I was planning to hold on my Primo Gems for this account because Hoyo just did release a drip marketing for the character for 3.0, and one of them is actually Scaramouche. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later, but I cannot say I'm not excited, but I'm more of an Archon collector, but I do have a little bit of desire to collect the Fatui Harbinger as well. So, and the fact that originally the reason why I decided to play 2 accounts is because I sort of want to alternate between them on rolling for character that I want. So I'm planning to skip Scaramouche for my main account. I think I want to focus on the weapon banner after that, and the alternate account here is going to roll for him. But then again, I personally think that based on the guide that I've seen, which is surprising because it's only been a few hours and there's already some guides on Nahida. It kind of seems that Nahida would probably be a good Dendro support for my Nilo team. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna try to roll for her, but if I didn't get her, it's still okay. Not sure if I can even reach the 5-star though. Whether I got her or not, that is not important. If I do get her, it's good. But if I don't get her, that is also a good thing. So it's just meant that I'm guaranteed to get Scaramouche for this account. I think let's just go ahead and roll for her, but I do want to have enough for one more. Do I have enough? You know what? Let's just do 110 pull, then I might have enough for one fits from the shop. Okay, let's go ahead. I think I'm currently at 0. Yep, Nilo is the exactly. Oh yeah, I remember I did it one by one actually for the one that I got for Nilo. I didn't do a multi pull. Okay, so that's basically 0. Let's go. 10. Would have been good if I got early. It's okay. Oh, double Bennett. Well, at least it's good that we got Fate. Okay, let's go. 20. That's not good. Pain Slasher. Dang. I think the one that I still hasn't had at C6 is Razor. Would have been good if I got him instead. Come on. Early. Well, there you go. Oh, at least I got a Razor. Alright. Let's go to the main event here. I'm guaranteed for Naida. Okay. I'm a bit hesitant right now because I'm a little bit tempted to go all out on her banner, but I do prefer to save Primo Gem. Okay, I am at, what was this place name? I forgot already. Vanarana, yeah. But she is kind of have a close connection with the Aranara, right? So I decided to pull for her over here. I mean, not really anything special though, considering the fact that I'm guaranteed to have her. Okay, so let me talk a little bit here because like I said, I have something to talk about the banner. Okay, obviously I'm going to pull for Naida. I'm currently at 35. I believe it is at 35. 20, 30, 35. Yep, 35. Okay, so as you can see, I have enough, just the right amount for 80 pulls. So normally I am lucky enough to get it around that, but hopefully it doesn't go beyond that, beyond 80. That's gonna be really painful. But yeah, as you can see right now, it is Yoimiya and Naida, but on the second phase it is going to be Yaimiko and Tartaglia. So now that is going to be interesting because both of the weapon is going to be really good. Now I only have the Lost Prayer for this account, well, for my alternate account as well. So I don't have the Kagura's what was the full name? I forgot. But basically I do have the 5-star for Yaimiko, and as well as any 5-star bow at all. So that is actually going to be a pretty good banner. I'm not sure if I have mentioned it before, but I do want to collect both variant of the crit 5-star, the crit rate and the crit damage. I have both for my my sword, which is the mist splitter, as well as the jade cutter. I have the jade spear for the spear, and then I have the lost prayer for catalyst. There is none for the claymore. I'm still waiting on the here. Well, luckily she's not in 3.3, so at least I do have a bit more time to farm for Primogem before she got released. I'm hoping I'm hoping for her to come out in 3.5, hopefully, just so that I have more time to collect more Primogems to guarantee her weapon, if it is good though. But then because of the banner for the second phase, I am a bit conflicted now, because both of the weapon is good, and I'm only planning to get 1 5-star. Well, there is a risk of me getting a weapon that is outside of the banner, but I still think that it is a good shot for me to try and gun for it. And to be honest though, I'm not even sure if I do have enough Primogems to get to the PT. And best case scenario, I would say probably I'm just gonna close my PT, maybe up to 60 or 70, and that will be still good, even if I don't get any 5-star at all. So that is one of the reason why I'm not rolling for Scaramouche here. I think Nahida is going to be the last character that I'm going to pull for in this account for a while. Then I'm probably gonna be concentrating on weapon first, and after that then I'm probably going to start rolling for character again. My guess, there's a good chance that I'm gonna be skipping all of the 5-star character until the next expansion. I think by that time I should have enough of the 5-star weapon, all of the, maybe at least have one variant on each of them. I think the one that I'm missing right now is Claymore as well as Deepu. So hopefully I can do have that, probably. We'll see how it goes though. I don't want to rush and roll for the weapon on the second banner as well. Once it came out, I do want to wait for the special program for the 3.3, just to get an idea of who's going to come as well in 3.3, the rerun that is going to be there, and just to look at what the weapon for Scaramouche. We don't have any information on what his weapon, right? I'm not sure what. I'm not sure if he's a sword or catalyst. Have we ever seen him fighting before? I don't think so, right? But I think enough rambling for me. Let's just go ahead and roll. I'm gonna start off with 5 of the normal wish here. I think I got all of them. Maybe Razor is not yet C6. I'm hoping for a double Naida. Come on, miHoYo. I only got that once, and that was last year. Come on, man. Give me a double 5-star, bro. Ah, fuck. The burst lasts really long, if I'm not mistaken. And I got a burst already. Wait, what was the cool? Okay, let's see. Okay. I want to see what's the damage though. Can I try again? I want to see what's the damage on the Trichoma. No, I cannot see that. Maybe I'll try to see it later once I'm editing the video. But okay, that is actually pretty interesting. But I think the team comp that they give is not really that good. I have a better team comp here personally, I think. But let me go ahead and roll for her first. Let's not delay this any further. So we are at 40. Oh, so we do have an extra to go to 90. Okay, that's good. So at least I still have enough feeds. Let's go 50. Come on, come early. Come on, double Naida. Or give me double Naida at Heart Pity. That's also a plus. Well, at least that's an extra. So 60. Come on. I wanna skip because I want. Let me close my. How many do I got? Do I get one or two? One or two. Come on, give me two, man. Come on, come on, come on. That's a pity. But that's okay. At least we got her early though. We still have 30 here, so I kind of want to try and, you know what? I can do. Dang, do I want to do it? I've been saving this. Hopefully I can got her early again. That was 60 just now. So, oh, let me go ahead and change her. So this is what her build is going to be. I'm using her as the main DPS. I think I have enough energy recharge, and since I do have Hydro here, so her burst is going to last extra long. This is going to be a Hyper Bloom, probably aggravate spread as well, depending on how quick I did the reaction. Obviously, because I don't have her yet, I haven't tried it. Zhongli, I'm building him for 100% shield. Ideally, this is probably going to be substituted by the Hydro Archon, maybe. I'm hoping for her to be... Is it a her or him? I'm not sure. But I'm hoping for the Hydro Archon to be a healer. If he or she is a healer, then I probably can just tone down my Zhongli to a DPS build instead. Okay, we have 50. Let's go ahead. Come on. Come on, give me early and give me double so that I can get C2. Come on. Russ. Okay, that's a good. I think the second copies that I got is R3 if I'm not mistaken. 20 Razor. Oh, wait, my Razor is already C6. Okay, never mind. 30 double character, nice. 40. Well, I think that goes my plan for the weapon. C6 Bennett. No. 50. Well, there goes the last one. I don't want to try and gun for the... do I want to do it? But if I do fail, I might get a Tinari. And if I do fail, I am guaranteed for the next character. So I'm planning to do 3 more multiple. Let's just top up one just when they ask for an additional. Okay, 60. This is 80. Come on, give me double, Naida, please. Come on, Hoyo, flip the switch, bro. Come on. I'm closing my eyes. I'm telling you, I'm not feeling lucky though. Come on. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Wow, this is really late. 76, 77. This is 4-star. Ah, well, I don't care. I got all of them. C6. So that was 77, right? 78. 79. What I got? Come on. Painful. Pain, man. Pain. Well, as much as I want to spend more, that is going to be it. But regardless, I do have a guaranteed character, so I'm gonna keep that for the next character that I'm going to roll for. So if I'm gonna guess, very likely it's gonna be Alhaitham. We'll leave that later on. I'm just want to level up my Nahida up to maximum. I do have enough of I think the best case scenario that I can go for is level 6 on her talent. If I'm not mistaken, her boss material is going to be the one from Scaramouche, so that is only available once we are done with the Archon quest. But regardless, I'm gonna stop recording here, but don't worry, I'm with the power of editing. Here I am back. Poof. Okay, so basically I wasn't expecting to do this, but I have decided to actually try and go for her constellation. Now the best I can do for now is C1, but who knows, I'm lucky enough to get another constellation. I am targeting to... I intend to keep rolling for a banner until the last day, just to try and get her constellation to and see if I'm lucky enough to get it. But C1 is pretty good enough. Some people might say it is unnecessary, but I don't know, I just feel like rolling for it, because like I said, I'm not really planning on rolling for any other character after this, so might as well just go all out on her, and then I just want to focus on the weapon after this. Where were we just now? I think it was 50, right? Hang on. Yeah, is at 50. So let's go ahead. 60, come on, come on, come on. Pain. This is painful. Oh, Favonius, that's good. I think my my catalyst for Favonius is not R5 yet. So that's kind of good, I guess. 70. I'm gonna go all the way to Heart Pity. I can already feel it. Dang. Yep. Well, let's just go ahead and skip. Well, there you go. C1. Oh, I think I have enough for 20. 10 pull. Come on, let's go. 20. First 10. Come on, give me Naida. Give me another one, bro. Early, come on. Come on, early. Dang it. Well, whatever the case, C1 is good enough for now. Alright, gonna show you a little bit about my build. Hang on, but I need to change back to... Yep. Okay, I've tested out my build. So currently it is better for me to stick with this, although I have a lower EM right now, 500, around 550, and this amount of crit rate and crit damage. Now I've tried swapping my circlet for an EM instead of crit damage, which I'm using right now, and I've got somewhere around close to, I believe it was close to 700, or was it 650? Hang on, let me switch back. Yeah, there's a difference of about 100 only, and doesn't really in terms of damage, I'm actually doing a lot more damage by using the crit damage circlet here, so I will be sticking with this one. I guess part of the reason is because I have a very high EM subset over here, so if there is no EM subset over here, then I guess it might be a lot lower. So if I'm not mistaken, my EM will go to 700, around 700 once the 4 pieces effect take place. That's gonna buff me my EM almost to 700, I believe, based on rough calculation. And then my burst is gonna buff some more. Let me go ahead and try first. I've actually changed my A to a different artifact. I gave her the Deepwood set just for her to help in decreasing the dendro resistance for the enemy. I believe it does work. You know what? I can try it actually. I can try remove one of the artifact just to see if there is a difference in damage.
Stabilize.
Shine down. Diminish memory.
There you go, 30k, 31k,
Illusion shattered. Roll.
20k. Okay, somewhere around. Oh, that one just hit 37k, 39k.
Stabilize.
Okay, let me go back. I want to see if I use, because just now I only proc using the off-field electro application from Ace elemental skill. I think it does work, so let me go ahead and remove. Okay, I want to see what's the damage now. Just want to make sure that the artifact is indeed working. Okay, so my damage was somewhere around 30 to, it goes up to 37k. Okay, now let's see if it works. I don't see the damage yet. 27, okay, that's already less than 7. Yep. Okay, so the deep boot is definitely working now. Alright, let's go ahead and start the quest. Hang on, let me calm down a little bit. This is the finale. Oh, you know what? Let me talk a little bit first before we start the quest. Okay. Remember how I said that I kinda hate a little bit? Well, not really hate, but I don't really like Act 1 of Sumeru. I feel like a lot of the stuff on Act 1 is kind of like a dragging, but after playing through Act 3 and Act 4 and then watching those playthrough from other content creators as well, I feel like I appreciate Act 1 a lot more compared to when I first started it. A lot of the stuff are coming in together and kind of make sense after what we learned in Act 3 and Act 4. Basically on most of the part that I'm not really a fan of during Act 1 is the stuff with Al Haytham, where I feel like it's unnecessary to be put there. But then we do learn what was happening behind the scene and why he's there. So the story kind of add up and makes sense now. So overall, I would say Sumuru has the best story so far. I know, like, I think, like, I keep saying that Genshin is keep getting better, and it does actually feel like the story is becoming a lot better, and I do appreciate that miHoYo decide to take time and extend the story much further. And there's also the fact that they say that the story isn't exactly the finale. I can guess that the next story would probably be somewhere around here, which involve the tornado here, the sand tornado. My guess this is gonna be something to do with what was happening to King Dashrat civilization, I would say. So I kind of look forward to that as well. I was kind of hoping that we get this part of the desert during this version, to be honest, but that is still not a problem for me. In fact, I do feel relieved, to be honest, because there is a lot of exploration that I've yet to be done. See, the stuff at the desert here, there's a lot of underground part that I've yet to complete. As you can see, there's 3 more teleporters that I haven't done. I'm not sure how many parts left is there for me to do for the Golden Slumber quest. I think I've only got authorization to level 2 or 1. I don't really remember, but it's still very low. So I'm guessing that quest is gonna be quite a long time. But yeah, I'm really satisfied on how miHoYo decide to take their time and make the story more detailed and spread into a lot of the Archon quest, which this is the first time that we got a very lengthy chain of Archon quests. So I'm hoping for them to follow this route. In fact, I'm kind of like it if they extend it much further, to be honest, because a version usually lasted so far a version lasted up to 0.8. I would have liked for the main story of the region to be up to the 0.5 of the version, but it is still very satisfying to get a very good storyline so far. So I guess let's just go ahead and continue. Okay, let's see what's up. What's the plan here? How are we going to rescue Nahida? Oh yeah, one thing I want to talk about also is we might get the answer at the end of this quest. Okay, in my house, Scaramouche is going to be available on the next version.
But where
Now,
are those who share the memory?
my theory is that is either he's going to repent after we beat him, or he might be completely destroyed and then rebuild again. That's my guess. But whatever the case, we need Mommy A to come here and give some scolding to Scaramouche.
Candace, we're here! Has everyone arrived?
Probably.
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Alright.
Well,
What's
what
the
are we
plan
waiting
here?
for? Let's join them!
Please. Wait a minute.
Why?
Before attending the meeting, I hope you can promise me one thing.
What's that?
What do you need?
Promise me that you won't commit to anything too reckless.
That's hard to do, so we might need to be reckless if the situation need us to.
What do you think?
Yeah, we'll try not to, but cannot
Okay.
really promise anything at the moment. We are dealing with 2 of the Fatui here, so It's not some easy task to do. Okay. The downside of using this team is that I no longer have Kazuha. But it's okay. Finally going to get a hold of an Archon team in a way.
Everyone's here so early! But why isn't anybody talking?
I'm not sure.
We already discussed things a bit.
Really?
Hey, where have you been? I've missed you too.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Very well.
Start the meeting, Chairman. Wait, are we not gonna get the
Are you
detail?
sure this is gonna work?
I gotta admit, it's bold. Color me impressed.
It's worth a try. The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to the next point.
Okay.
You're making Paimon nervous.
Wait, a cutscene already? Okay, this is unexpected.
You're finally done.
Oh, okay, never mind. What was the plan then? I want to know.
I have some other stuff to take care of. Catch you all later. Come on, don't give me that face. I know what you're going to say. I'll be careful.
That's what I wanted to hear. Take care.
Alright.
Well, traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
I don't know, you tell me. I don't even know what's the content here.
Hell?
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based on your reaction, things must have gone quite well.
Probably. We'll make our move on the next day. On the next Shanagarp. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Paimon's a little worried. Hopefully nothing will go wrong.
To be honest,
It is going to
I
go
feel
wrong.
the same. But you're already some of the most capable people I know. So you have my trust.
Ah,
Candace gave us a compliment.
Your deeds speak for themselves.
Candace, we stayed behind to tell you that, although you won't be coming with us, we'll be sure to remember your words.
I'm very glad to hear that. I've said the same thing to everyone here today as I said to you when you arrived. Your safety is the most important thing. Only when you're safe can the plan be successful.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Oops.
And thank you for taking my advice. Good luck. With everything. I'll be here in the village praying for you.
Not gonna lie though, I feel like I'm kinda tempted to change Xingqiu for Kokomi.
Sounds good. I'll go make some preparations.
Okay.
I'll hate them.
So the Ermite is going to help us.
Have you finished saying your goodbyes?
Probably with diversion.
Yeah. Also, Candace told everyone to be careful.
Yes, she did. But I think my point also bears repeating. Our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. We must go beyond that and fully commit ourselves to it.
I agree.
I hope this is clear to you.
I understand and accept.
Huh? Shouldn't you be saying something more cheerful to boost our morale right now?
Didn't we already do that during the meeting?
You can never have enough words of encouragement.
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue
What
to
the
remind you of the seriousness of our situation.
Yeah, I get it. I
We all
get it.
have our jobs
Fine.
to do after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of logistics while others will fight on the front lines.
Makes sense.
Speaking of the front lines, you don't look anything like a soldier.
Hello, Paimon. Do you not see him fighting during Act
Of
1?
course. Compared to the mercenaries, I'm merely a feeble scholar.
Nah, You can actually fight.
The advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place and offer my strategic insight.
Yeah, he is more valuable as a strategist, I would say.
Just think about that mercenary who lost his mind. Mercenary groups are facing constant danger every single day.
Well, being a scholar is also a high-risk occupation, and you are a scholar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like the rest of them. Even among members of the same species, some will exhibit far more potential than others.
This guy. Paimon still remembers when those mercenaries in Port Ormos called you a lunatic.
All intellectuals are lunatics in the eyes of fools. I'll take that as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me.
What's up?
Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins?
Oh,
It
yeah.
mentioned forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, I do remember. I wonder what the forbidden
You
knowledge
have a
is.
good memory. Forbidden knowledge has the power to drive people insane, but this fact has never been shared with the public. Even I, who has worked in the academia for some time, was never once informed of this.
Oh, are you implying the academia know about that?
I think those mad scholars and mercenaries we encountered may have all fallen victim to the corrupting qualities of forbidden knowledge.
Oh.
But the academia has always held a different view. They've always believed that symptoms of madness are a side effect of human contact with divine knowledge as mere mortals.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Come to think of it, perhaps the academia has also never understood the true nature of forbidden knowledge, and thus always approached the issue from the wrong direction.
Oh, now that you said it, so people got mad is the people that got mad. I'm talking about the people of Sumeru, not the desert. Probably is because of forbidden knowledge, and it's not because of they do not have the capacity to understand divine knowledge. Oh. In fact, there might not be such thing as a divine knowledge. It's just that the academia misunderstood that people who went crazy is because they doesn't have the capacity to understand those knowledge. But in fact, it is actually a forbidden knowledge which causes people to go mad. But what is a forbidden knowledge actually? Kind of curious about that, and where does it come from?
The Withering, Elazar,
Yeah.
and the sandstorms. Don't you think what is happening right now across Sumeru is rather similar to the forbidden knowledge pollution that occurred in the desert thousands of years ago?
I agree. They did show us that the people are getting sick and have scales developing on their skin, which is Elazar, and then they said that the land was dying. I'm guessing that symbolized the withering. I'm not sure about the sandstorm though, but it definitely has something to do with it. Yep, another occurrence of forbidden knowledge occurrence.
Paimon thought that Irminsul's disease is what caused the withering in the sandstorms.
Maybe it does. The forbidden knowledge is affecting Irminsul.
At least, that's what Tainari told us. Wait a second. Could it be that?
What?
Ah, you've connected the dots. The cause of Irminsul's illness may
Yeah.
precisely be the pollution from forbidden knowledge.
Yep. So I was right. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but it could probably be the causes. Yeah, we must tell Nahida about this as soon as possible. But we do have to rescue her first. Probably curing Irminsul is gonna be what the story is going to be after this Archon quest. I'm guessing this particular act is going to be us saving Nahida.
Wait. Why do you think Lesser Lord Kusanali would have a solution to this situation?
She said the key to saving Irminsul contained within the remaining consciousness of Greater Lord Kalevata.
It's related to the scene you saw when you passed out in the Avidia forest? That whole the world forget me thing?
Yeah, we still don't get what that means though. Still a
In that
mystery.
case, it's imperative that we rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali. Only by working with her to save Irminsul can we completely resolve the problems Sumeru currently faces.
That's right.
To make sure we're still on track, I would like to check on the state of some of our preparatory work.
Okay.
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base.
Oh, okay. So we're still preparing for the assault, I guess.
Oh, you made it.
Huh? What are they doing here?
A
I
scholar?
gave them some technical work to do.
Was that the captured scholar?
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
I guess so. I forgot the name
How's the
already,
work
but
going?
I'm gonna guess it is.
Ah,
What
yes.
work?
We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for use, while the others are still under repair.
This is the device that they use to extract knowledge from the med scholars, right?
Devices for can knowledge extraction?
Yeah.
What are you doing with those?
Look here.
Can knowledge?
More can knowledge? Are you going to put more weird stuff into his head again?
What's that look on your face? Are you scared?
No.
Paimon's a little scared, but very, very furious.
That's an interesting response.
Oh, there's a treasure chest.
Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet.
Then what
As
for?
I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And according
Okay.
to the plan we just came up with, Traveler, I want you to record something into this capsule.
Hmm?
Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord Kusanali?
What I mean, like in faith, I'll make up with my action. Yes, I
Good.
do.
Conviction is the most important part of all of this. Now, please get ready and put on this device.
I don't understand what's the importance
You
of
want
this,
us to record
but
our
let's just go
conviction
ahead
into the knowledge capsule?
and go along with it.
Yes,
Paimon is still really worried.
I understand. But trust me, Paimon, this is something we have to do. It's best if you can do as I say.
Oh, so maybe he's planning to input it into can knowledge and then spread it through the Akasha just to make people know about it, I guess?
Because, to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first. Although it may feel like a trick, self-encouragement may be the most important tool we have.
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
I'm ready.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. As a result, we have changed Sumeru's entire political landscape.
Oh, okay. This is a dialogue from the trailer.
Everything went without a hitch, and everyone recognizes and praises our achievements.
Okay.
Now, open your eyes. Here,
What's this?
read it out loud.
What's that? Something would have been written on the note. Although you don't quite understand the purpose of this recording. What
It's
the heck?
done.
That was so far. That was so fast.
Is your head okay? Does anything hurt?
I'm fine.
It's just a recording. There should be no negative effects.
But what was the point of doing this? Paimon doesn't get it.
Maybe we'll understand
And that's
later.
perfectly fine. In any case, these capsules aren't meant to be used by you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You
Okay.
may find it hard to believe, but for those people, everything the Akasha transmits to them is nothing short of absolute truth.
And was my theory just not correct? Are you going to use it to transfer those info into the Akasha?
Imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha since the day you were born, and this device has always supported you during times of need.
Mm-hmm.
After all that time, what do you think you'd become?
Addicted and too reliant on it.
A fool? A machine?
In a way, I
A
guess.
slave to orders.
Yep. I agree.
And that's why rules are so important. In addition, those who understand the rules can delineate boundaries and identify gray areas.
But why would you need to identify the gray areas?
You could say that those kinds of ambiguous zones can be very interesting. One might even say they're advantageous in the right hands.
Mm-hmm.
Things you're interested in are really out there. Are all Sumeru scholars like this?
Probably just him though.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I'm going to take those two to work on some small projects. You can head to Caravan Rebot and start preparing for the next step.
Okay.
Small projects?
We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make a few modifications.
Okay. So I guess I'm not far. My theory is not that far, I guess. Okay, how's the preparation?
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
Huh? What's wrong?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties. I've given it a lot of thought. And in the end, I still can't agree to it.
But it's still the best plan we have. As a former Matra, you of all people should be able to see the bigger picture and recognize the innate advantages of our plan.
I did. And that's how I saw the danger behind these so-called advantages. Al-Haytham's plan is even more radical than I imagined.
Probably it's just that he doesn't like Al-Haytham that much.
Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just in time. Why don't you help me persuade Sino? He's turned against our plan.
We agreed to work out a plan at the meeting. As mercenaries, you're familiar with the local environment, so you'll take care of the specifics. But then, you went to Al-Haytham for suggestions.
Ah, okay.
Had I known Al-Haytham would give you those kinds of suggestions, I would not have agreed to the plan.
I see. Well, that's very sneaky of him.
Look, you already know that we're all on the same side here, don't you?
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make sacrifices if they deem the situation to be sufficiently dire. I'm sorry, but as things stand, I can't accept your principles.
Seems you really do understand the ways of the desert.
Isn't he from the desert?
Traveler, Paimon, this is also something you should know.
Okay, what's up?
Rahman's plan is to have me work with the Caravan Rebot guards in my capacity as a Matra. We will arrest the mercenaries and escort them into Sumeru City.
Okay. Oh. So disguise, I guess.
Wait, how can we work with the guards?
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? Caravan Rebot would never let so many unregistered members of the Eremites enter Sumeru City. My plan will clear us of any possible suspicion, and also let us enter the city as a big group. There is no better way.
Can you just sneak in, using the jungle and all?
That also sounds like something Al-Haytham told you. Am I right?
Doesn't Al-Haytham know how dangerous this plan is?
Of course he does. He told me, there is no perfect plan, but this can get the job done.
Yeah, I guess he only cares about the
He
result.
also said that with the help of Sino and the Traveler, our chance of success would increase significantly. I never blindly trust anyone, and I've always had a good eye for people. I think he made a number of valid points. It's my own choice to trust you.
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. But I can't guarantee that kind of discipline from the guards.
I guess they can just play along.
To make the whole thing more convincing, you'll need to resist to some degree. Casualties are inevitable once push comes to shove.
Well, do you have another suggestion then?
I'm okay with the deaths of enemies. But now that we're allies, I'm against the meaningless loss of our own.
To be fair, if it means saving Nahida, I don't think it is meaningless though.
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life, and I can say that people like you are hard to come by.
I've always treated my allies with honesty and respect. They have the right to know important things like this.
Now you're making this hard for me.
Well, do you have any idea?
Is there something we can do to help?
If there is no other way,
I knew you would say that.
We can help fight some of the mercenaries, which should reduce the number of times you'll have to struggle directly with the guards. That should help at least a little bit.
yeah, we should respect their determination.
Sino, on behalf of my people, I thank you for your kindness. But this is a mission we cannot turn our backs on. We strongly value the lives of our friends, but the goal we are about to achieve is even more important.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. We're saving the Archon here.
We have no fear of casualties, because we crave the spoils of victory. So please, lend us your support. We will show you the determination of us desert dwellers.
Well, now that you've put it that way, I can no longer refuse.
Okay,
But
seems to
remember,
be all working
You need
out.
to follow the plan and not do anything reckless. Candace made it very clear that we can only achieve our goals if we can ensure our safety. Since you and I both recognize the significance of this operation, there should be no more animosity between the followers of the Dendro Archon and those of King Deshret. Everyone's life is equally important.
On that part, I agree.
Okay, you have a deal. Let's do this for our shared dream.
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there.
Oh, so we're starting now?
Guards!
General Mahamatra! To what do we owe the honor?
Keep your voice down. This is a secret operation. I'm going to arrest a large criminal gang near this location. According to the Academia's Guide and Regulations on Secret Operations, I have the right to ask for the cooperation of Caravan Rebot.
Nice.
Of course. Mahamatra Sino's order is the Academia's order. Just let us know what you need. But who exactly are you planning to arrest, and how many people are you expecting? Depending on the scale of this operation, we may need to report it to our superiors.
They're a squad of Eremites whose number is comparable to Ain El Akmar in Port Ormos.
Oh,
They're involved in the theft and resale of supplies from the Academia.
As many as Ain al Akmar. This should definitely be classified as a joint operation.
And I suggest that you report this to your superiors as soon as possible. And treat it as a top priority desert operation. I will need personnel.
Got it. Please wait a moment. I'll contact them immediately.
right. Seems to be working for now.
Because this is work.
This is a normal day for him. You're much more friendly to
Because I
us.
trust you.
Oh, okay.
Paimon can't
Thanks, I guess.
To chat. This whole thing has Paimon scared stiff. Aren't you even a little worried? What if these guards already know that you have betrayed the Academia and are no longer their General Mahamatra?
We'll take that chance.
Even if that guard doesn't know, their superiors might, right?
We discussed this, remember?
The Caravan Rebot operation is of great importance. But don't worry, the guards there shouldn't know that Sino has stepped down.
Why is that?
How can you be so sure?
First, the other Matras still don't know why Sino has left, which proves that the Academia has been covering up the matter.
I guess in a way it will sort of backfire them if they decided to reveal it. People might notice that something is up and start questioning the Academia. That is my guess.
Second, this is a crucial moment for the Academia's God creation plan. If something were to happen to the General Mahamatra, it's bound
Yep.
to attract a lot of unwanted attention.
Yep.
No matter how you look at it, they don't seem interested in sharing the news of Sino's departure.
A reasonable inference. I agree.
Which brings us to our next issue. I'm sure some of you have been wondering if the prediction function of the Akasha will affect our operation.
Good question
The
though.
Akasha is still in operation, so I must remain on high alert. Actually, considering the power of the Akasha, it's quite strange that it hasn't already tried to interfere with my actions.
The bigger question for me is why is Al-Haitham still wearing his Akasha? Doesn't that have a spying stuff on it? Or maybe he modified his Akasha terminal. Who's to know, right?
I've given that a lot of thought. For now, I don't think you'll need to worry.
Really though?
If you remember, when you first came to Aru Village, all your actions and routes were predicted by the Akasha. It even gave that information to those who kidnapped the village keepers. But things like that never happened again after we met up with the Traveler.
That's true. But why?
Look at it from a different angle. Why do you think the Akasha will predict your actions?
Because my personal data has been entered into the Akasha.
I don't think it's just that.
That's true, but the key to this question is, how well can the Akasha make predictions about a person?
Good question.
Haven't you ever thought about it? Just how can it do this in the first place?
Because the Akasha controls the entirety of Sumeru.
The Academia firmly believes that all human actions can be explained through logic.
By sorting and analyzing entered data, the Akasha can derive behavioral logic and predict the actions of those who fit an existing logic model. However, at the risk of sounding like an advocate for fallacies, can everyone truly be considered logical at all times?
I guess not.
Emotions are part of our behavioral logic. But can you guarantee that every experience of the same joy or pain would be equally intense? How can our feelings and opinions be predictable down to the letter in every single instance?
That is true.
Sino, in the past, you've always worked alone. In the absence of another person who could sway you or your thoughts, the Akasha could produce predictions that were similar to your real-life behavioral principles.
But now he's working with us, not alone anymore. So that is different.
Decisive and principled, you were used to solving problems alone. That's why the Akasha could figure you out. But now, you've joined a team. And I believe the Akasha hasn't yet figured out the full composition of it. Our thoughts and logic have intermingled and weaved themselves together to become a complicated, chaotic mess. Any one of us could potentially disagree with another. The Akasha lacks data on these interactions, and it's impossible for it to predict your actions in the future based on your decisions in the past. After all, there's probably a limit to just how much we can be modeled or controlled by data.
But then again, I repeat, you are wearing an Akasha terminal here. Wouldn't the Akasha terminal that you're wearing will get data?
So, in my opinion, you're probably safe for now.
Makes sense to me. I agree. The Akasha is not alive, and I don't think we can be completely controlled by something without a mind of its own.
We don't know that yet.
Is that so? I guess there are things that even the Akasha cannot calculate, and people will not be forever trapped by the past.
Paimon's so glad that this is settled.
Next time,
This is
pay
only the
attention
beginning
during our
though.
meetings.
Will do.
I'm confident that we can do
Just
this.
remember to stay vigilant.
Alright?
Footsteps!
General Mahamatra, we were not expecting your presence here.
This is their superior, I guess?
I'm the security officer of the Grand Deshret Desert District. My name is
Zembarbo.
Luxembarbo.
Doesn't sound like a Sumeru name.
This is my assistant, the Traveler. He will be working with me. The construct next to him is for his work.
Construct.
Beep! Construct, beep!
What a great honor to meet you. Your golden hair
Robot
is as bright as
Paimon.
the sun. And, is this the latest technology from the Academia?
I guess so.
Have you made a decision regarding the matter I mentioned to your subordinate?
It seems to be a dire situation, so of course you will have our full cooperation. To be perfectly honest, I've always longed to go on a mission with someone as well known as yourself.
Ah, nice
There's
speak
no need
then.
for flattery.
Yes, sir.
Take your most elite platoon and follow me to the eastern side of the district. We will carry out the operation there.
Understood.
Map.
Hurry, bring the map.
He's very good at acting like himself
In
previously.
2 days, we will engage Ramon's Eremites
2
and
days.
capture
Okay.
all of them. Any questions about the time or location?
None at all, sir.
Good. See you then.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So far, seems to be going well.
Maybe hanging around the General Mahamatra isn't so bad after all. Everyone's so respectful towards us.
Does feel pretty good.
This is all due to the absolute authority of the Academia. And now, we're going to strike back against that massive pillar of power.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready. We will move out in 2 days.
2 days it is then. Okay, there they are.
Look! Over there! Our helpers have arrived already! Let's hurry over!
Wait a moment.
A trap?
Oh, it's you!
Let's see if that
You're
screen though.
my assistant, remember?
Yes, I remember.
Being my assistant, you must stay with me. Now let's head over there.
Oops. Sorry about
It's
that.
General Mahamatra and his assistants.
Oh, that was close then.
We meet again.
You're here early.
It's to show how important we think the operation is. Since this is a big case for the Academia, we are prepared to give it our best.
I'm glad to hear your sense of resolve. Remember, we must capture them alive. They are our only leads for the case. If they die, we will be unable to continue the investigation.
Oh, okay. So capture them alive and then sort of bring them to the city. In a way, we wanna do an interrogation. But alas, did they know that there was actually an infiltration?
Understood.
Everyone! The Eremites are approaching from the west!
Make preparations and be ready for combat.
Yes, that was the cutscene that we saw in the trailer.
Halt!
Oh? What a warm welcome! What do you want? Judging from those shiny weapons in your hands, it seems like you're not interested in a deal.
Ooh, Ramon's doing well.
Ramon, the Academia has caught wind of your smuggling and illicit sales. If you value your life, I advise you to surrender.
Who are you supposed to be? A Matra from the Academia? I can't believe you came all this way just to catch us.
I'm not here to talk.
Oh, Sino's doing well. Just being himself, I guess.
Nobody's given me this much time of day since I became a mercenary. Brothers! For that slight, let's wash our blades with their blood. Let's show them we Eremites are not to be messed with.
Oh, we are going to fight.
Stabilize!
Thrust, rebuild! Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, okay, so Hyper Bloom is working.
Yeah! 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 Hey!
Okay, Hyper Bloom seems to be working.
Allow me!
Solidify!
Illusion shattered!
Everyone will move!
It's over.
Ah!
We have subdued them. The operation is now over. All Eremite mercenaries and related personnel in the area have been arrested.
I guess using Kokomi is probably better, I guess.
Ah, you pitiful Dendro Archon dogs! You'll regret this!
I'm afraid you'll regret it first.
King Jeshred will curse you, and you will all!
Silence!
Oh,
Okay, he really did give a smack, huh?
Restrain
at
them
least-
and take them back to Caravan Rebot. Count their numbers and send them to the Academia as instructed by the General
At least that
Mahamatra.
was a convincing performance.
Yes, sir!
Mahamatra Sino, I will now take my leave. If you need further assistance, please come to Caravan Rebot and ask for me.
Understood. You are dismissed.
Okay, so what now? So they're going to send them to the city, right?
There they go.
Let's talk elsewhere.
Right? Here goes the plan. Seems to be working for now. Let's just hope it's going to be just fine.
Yes, things went perfectly.
That's fantastic. And that punch you gave Ramon there sure looked convincing enough.
Probably because it was a real
Once
punch.
we're done here, I'll return to Caravan Rebot and oversee the group's transport. I promise. I'll get everyone into Sumeru City safely.
Well, thank you, Sino.
Yeah, you're the reason why everything went so well.
It's not the time to celebrate yet. I believe Dia should already be waiting for you.
Alright.
Go join up with her. She will need you to introduce her to Tainari.
Speaking
Oh.
of which, is it really okay for us not to share the full plan with Tainari? What if he'll feel miffed about it and refuse to work with us?
Yeah, I'm worried about that too. We should just include him, I
I
guess.
have a very close relationship with Tainari.
Oh,
Given
okay.
how well we know each other, I believe my message alone should be enough to bring him to our side. He knows I won't make jokes about things like this.
I guess that makes sense.
If we need help, Tainari is the best option.
We do saw him in a trailer. Seems to be going, seems to be fighting with
Get ready for the
Fatui.
next phase of the plan.
Right.
Dia, we're here!
It's about time. Didn't you say our part of the plan is the most important of all? And here you come rolling in late.
Sorry.
In the time it took you to get here, I already did 5 laps around the place, downed 7 drinks, and even did some clothes shopping.
Sorry. We didn't mean to keep you waiting.
I just wanted to fix your attitude and rub it in a little. After all, you took your sweet time getting here, and we've got important stuff to take care of.
Sorry, the situation is a little bit tricky.
I just like seeing that serious look on your face. All right, I'll stop. All joking aside, I'm glad you're here. Let's get moving and take care of this as soon as possible.
Alright.
But where should we start?
Our responsibility is to get a status update on the Fatui Harbinger known as the Doctor.
Okay.
We need to make sure he won't get in our way when we rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali. Dealing with an institution that controls all of Sumeru is already hard enough. If the Doctor were to crash the party, it would be next to impossible for us to achieve
Yep.
our goals.
I agree.
Yeah, we sure don't want him showing up. Ooh, he really gives Paimon the creeps.
Right? Hearing his name just reminds me of those stuffy old geezers in the Academia. I'd rather not have to deal with someone like that.
So, what should we do?
According to the plan, we should first go to Pardis DI and ask for Forest Watcher Tainari. If all Hatham and Sino's sources are solid, then we can be sure that Tainari still has the Academia's trust. So, we'll find Tainari and convince him to get us the latest intel on the Doctor. Then, depending on what we learn, we'll make any necessary adjustments to our plan. The
Okay.
sages have placed spies everywhere on the other side of the wall. I'll follow you as a bodyguard.
Alright. Didn't expect you to become my bodyguard.
You should be honored. I don't offer my services to just anyone you know.
But Paimon thought mercenaries would do anything for Mora.
Yeah.
That's certainly true. But when multiple employers are vying for your services, you should always go with the best offer. Let's see. If I were to charge you a bill, I guess I can apply a discount.
Nope. Charge it to the academia instead.
How much more do you want? I was not sure we can afford it.
How much do I want? Hey, how about paying me with a smile? What do you say?
Ah.
I haven't seen you smiling much recently. If you ask me, someone like you must look lovely when they smile.
Smile.
Come on, give me a smile so that I can be less worried.
Ah. Thank you.
Looking good. I hope this pretty smile will become our lucky charm.
Hopefully.
There are many kinds of smiles, but only a truly joyous one can bring blessings to others. Let's consider this smile a down payment for our future victory. Let's go. It's time to pay a visit to Party's DI.
Alright. Oh, okay. There he is.
He's over there. Let's go say hi. Tainari!
Ah, traveler, Paimon. And you are?
Long time no see.
Hey there.
This is our friend Dia. She's an Aramite mercenary.
You mean bodyguard?
A mercenary? You must have some big news for me.
In fact, we do actually.
It's something really important. Please help us out.
All right.
Did he realize?
Follow me.
Oh, he must notice that someone is probably here. Probably the Fatui.
This place is better. We won't be disturbed by any passerby. Okay, what is this important thing you want to ask me?
Have you met the doctor? I want to know where he is.
The doctor, huh?
He's that strange-looking Fatui Harbinger with the mask. Paimon thinks he has blue hair.
Little blue hair. Oh, okay, I thought she said
Yes,
little
I
hair.
know him. Actually, he left Party's DI just a little while ago.
Oh, interesting.
He left
Why
already?
was he? Why was he here?
Yeah, he came looking for me.
For what? Maybe he's trying to recruit Tainari personally.
Can I ask what it was about?
The project, I guess?
Sorry to ask you like this after having just met, but your answer is very important to us. For now, all we can share with you is that your friend Sino is working with us.
Sino, you say? I see. So that's why he hasn't been at the academia. Okay. I will answer your questions and will assist you any way I can. You don't have to tell me everything that's happened.
Sino's name really does work wonders. You're not even a little worried that we might have made it all up?
Despite having just met you, I can sense that you're the serious type. Between you, the Traveler, and Sino, none of you strike me as the type that would conspire to deceive me. You don't need to tell me anything you don't want to. I'll also get straight to the point. The Harbinger you mentioned came to me because he wanted to take the scholar Hypatia away with him.
Oh, probably it has something to do with her getting divination from Scaramouche, I guess.
Hypatia? Why would he want her?
What is he after?
And what do you mean by take away? Is he planning to leave Sumeru?
Yes. He told me his return to
Oh.
Snezhnaya is imminent.
With Hypatia? Uh-oh, that's not good.
So you mean... you're leaving this place soon?
Indeed. Otherwise, we could have perhaps talked a little more. I was just about to set out when I remembered something important. To that end, I made a final trip to Pardis DI. Let me ask, have you been taking care of a scholar by the name of Hypatia?
Your sources are accurate. No doubt because you recruited many informants.
Forgive me for asking, but how's the treatment coming along?
Ah, I guess he's in a way experimenting. Maybe he is the reason why Hypatia is connected to Scaramouche. Maybe he's done something to Hypatia in order to trigger that connection.
Given the way you're asking, I assume you have something to say.
Since you asked, I'll be frank. I would like to take Hypatia to Snezhnaya.
Can he decline?
It's incredibly difficult to transfer a patient. As a scholar yourself, shouldn't you at least be aware of this?
Oh? I can't believe your utter lack of faith in me, to the point of even questioning my general level of knowledge. How unbefitting.
It's not your knowledge that he is questioning, it's your purpose, your motive, dude.
Well, you're the only one who's ever made such a request.
I have my ways of keeping her safe during the journey. In addition, I can also promise that under my care, Hypatia will receive the most advanced and effective treatment.
Assuming like the same you did for Collei?
I will personally supervise her treatment and see to her recovery. Would that be agreeable to you?
Hypatia was born in Sumeru and remains a scholar of the Academia. Her situation has not become dire enough to necessitate her transfer to another nation.
I'm pretty sure he might get help from the sages.
Transporting her to Snezhnaya is risky, and the potential benefits are unknown. As the person currently responsible for her treatment, I cannot possibly sign off on this transfer. Your suggestion is rude and reckless.
Ooh.
Pass.
Get him, Tighnari.
I don't know much about the doctor, but after talking with him, I realized that, just like many other scholars, he possesses an aura of arrogance that I've come to detest. It's not so much that he's looking down on others, but more that he's so confident in himself and his abilities, to a point of near insanity. I would
You're not
never
wrong.
refer a patient to someone like him.
Do you think he'll just give up on her?
I prepared myself for a protracted battle of wits, and was really surprised to see him just give up on the topic. Still, his reaction really concerned me.
I'm guessing he has intention to kidnap Hypatia. Worst case scenario. Oh, another flashback?
I see. Of course, your opinion makes perfect sense. You're still young, but already quite stubborn. I must say, you are not like what I had expected. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't just let you off the hook like this. But unfortunately, I'm in a hurry today, what with Her Most Noble Majesty the Tsaritsa calling for our return.
Oh. What's up with that? Interesting. Huh. Emergency meeting? I wonder what's that going to be about.
Luckily, there is still some time left for me to take care of everything before I leave. It's just as the Academia said, you're a responsible and gifted scholar. Sadly, even with all of that, you're still lacking a bit of shrewdness. And that's also why people like you can never realize that sooner or later, everyone must pay the price for what they've learned.
Doesn't that include you?
Paimon can't help but feel like he's hinting at something unpleasant.
Definitely.
He asked a question, yet didn't care for my answer. Perhaps I'm nothing but a talking rock in his eyes. He never came off as malicious, but an utter lack of compassion permeated throughout our conversation. From his tone, I can sense that he's always looked down on others.
Oh, it definitely is. I can't believe he is actually leaving Sumeru.
I can barely believe it myself. But if that's true, the situation will be in our favor.
Oh, see the J chamber.
I don't think I missed any details. Frankly speaking, I don't want you to do anything too risky. Now that you know a little more, it should be easier for you to stay safe.
Thank you for sharing the information.
Sorry we can't tell you everything. We appreciate that you helped us anyway. I won't forget your kindness.
It's okay. I have an obligation to do so. To be perfectly honest, all of this may have started because of me.
Oh? Why? Because you reject their offer? Oh, backstory with them.
Recently, my master wrote several letters to me, asking me to return to the academia and assist him with his research.
Hasn't he already asked you several times before?
Yes, but there's something off about this most recent batch of letters. The handwriting and tone are both familiar, but some details have been omitted. My master will occasionally leave a few dots on the back of the letter. 1 dot means that he wrote the letter on a sunny day, and 3 dots stand for a rainy day.
Oh. That much detail?
This has been a habit of his
consistently?
for many years, but I didn't find any dots in his recent letters. I believe
It's a forgery?
something may have happened to him.
Oh, he must be brainwashed by the doctor then.
I get it. Since you are always at Gandharvaville, you would like me, someone already working at the academia, to investigate this matter, right?
I'd like to ask you to do that for me. If you can keep yourself safe, please withdraw immediately at the first hint of danger.
I can do that, but I have a feeling it won't be that simple. The academia has been working on a big project. I'm not quite sure what it is, but your master might be involved with it. If the higher-ups really are hiding something, then it will be difficult to remove myself from the situation once the investigation starts. If the situation becomes critical, I'll leave the academia. If you don't see me there for an extended period, that's your cue.
All right, we've got a plan. I'll stay at Gandharvaville to support you.
If that scenario comes to pass, you must be extra vigilant. And be wary of any messages or direct requests from the academia.
I see. So in a way, Tighnari already have a pretty good idea that the academia is up to no good, I guess.
I must say, I didn't expect a warning like this from the General Mahamatra.
Being loyal to the academia doesn't mean blindly doing whatever the sages say.
True, I agree.
I know what I'm doing.
It's like police blindly following the politician, I guess.
On that note, aren't you also being quite distrustful of your alma mater?
The academia, yes, but my master is a man of integrity.
Even
when I was a student, I was worried he'd get in trouble for sticking to his beliefs.
Ah, so his master is supposed to be good. I see.
I suppose he's lucky to have lasted so long. But in the end...
Oops.
I see. So you noticed something was up with the academia from the very beginning.
He just doesn't know what it is happening.
This may well be how Sino became involved in all this. In that case, I must keep my promise and help you however I can. Also, if you run into Sino again, please help me pass on a message to him. Trust your own senses and experiences.
Okay, I believe he's already doing that.
I think this may be something he needs to hear right now.
Okay, we'll find a chance to tell him.
Thanks.
Right. Now let's go hunt down this Harbinger. Oh, by the way, which way did the doctor go when he left Pardis Di?
That way.
to the desert? Is that the desert?
Gotcha. Thanks so
Oh, no.
much. We'll be on our way.
I think it was the direction towards Liyue. Not sure what's there.
According to Tighnari, the doctor is leaving Sumeru soon. I want to check if the doctor was actually telling the truth. He also said that he'll take care of everything before he leaves. What did he mean by that? We need to be extra careful when dealing with a person like him.
Well, the part where he's going to help with creating a god.
Just to be safe, let's chase him and see what we find.
But we have no idea where he went. How can we start chasing him?
We'll do it the mercenary way. I'll find leads as we go. All you have to do is just follow me.
Alright.
That Harbinger may have tried to cover his trail, but he still left some traces. Or perhaps he never even thought about concealing his whereabouts.
Well,
Maybe
he
that's
is
just
that
how
cocky.
arrogant he really is.
Yes.
Yep,
I agree.
we're headed in the right direction. The traces are still fresh, but there's no sign of his entourage. Clearly they're in a hurry. It's just as I thought.
Is that their camp?
We can stop here. I think I know where the doctor went.
This is the... yeah, the
To the
forest.
south of here is Port Ormos, which
Okay.
seems to be where they're headed.
I mean, kind of makes sense if they want to travel by sea, I guess.
Port Ormos? They're going to leave by boat?
That's right. Let's go to the port and have a look for ourselves.
Look! Fatui soldiers!
Okay, at least that's a good sign.
Thanks to Dia's tracking skills, seems we found the right place.
Shh! Don't draw their attention.
Mm-hmm.
The port is crawling with Fatui soldiers.
Let's keep going and see what we can find.
Oh, sneaking?
Now this is a proper farewell ceremony for a Snezhnayan Harbinger.
The Lord Harbinger is leaving. I've still only seen him once or twice.
I used to hold a position in our homeland, and back then, the doctor spoke in a very different way from the way he speaks now. Maybe the way people talk in Sumeru has rubbed off on him? It's always like that when you spend too long away from home. When he gets back to Snezhnaya, perhaps it will also take him some time to get used to the life there again.
Huh? But, sir, that can't be right.
No, I remember it like it was yesterday. Both his expressions and tones are now very different. Also, for some reason, he seems like he's all smiles now.
You must be mistaken. Nobody's supposed to look happy when they're on a business trip.
Oh, there he is.
The doctor is on that boat. So he told the truth after all. He is actually leaving Sumeru. Let's get closer and find a place to hide so we can observe him.
Right?
This place will do. We can hide here while we keep an eye on the boat.
Are you sure he doesn't notice us? He seems to be noticing something. He's definitely planning something.
Uh-oh. He saw us.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Is he waving at us?
Hopefully not.
It's time to say goodbye.
Wait, is he the only person on the boat?
You mean there's nobody with him?
And where are all the soldiers we saw on the port just now?
Distraction? Wait. Did they just vanish? How?
We were all here just a few minutes ago, but now they vanished.
Or is that just like an illusion?
So this was a trap.
There's nobody around
Wait,
us.
don't tell me that.
Maybe they are an illusion, and then the real Fatui soldier is somewhere else.
Luckily, there is still some time left for me to take care of everything before I leave.
Well, at least on the good side, he is leaving.
No. They might be after Hypatia. Let's get back to Party's DI.
Oh shit.
Huh? What do you mean?
Hypatia once connected her consciousness to the
I'm afraid
Palladia.
that she's seen something that she wasn't supposed to see. If I were the Fatui, I would also try to take her away. And if I couldn't...
Oh no! Are you saying they're going to kill her?
Oh, so that's what the trailer. That's what in the trailer where we saw Tainari.
Let's go!
Ooh, need to act fast. Then draw Archon to the rescue. Cutscene.
Party's DI is not a place you Fatui can just show up and do as you please.
I believe we've already made ourselves quite clear. Our superior gave us permission to search for and collect medicinal herbs in Party's DI for research purposes.
No, that's not your real intention.
But you've been in Sumeru for some time already. I find it coincidental that you chose to only come here today.
Even the Grand Sage himself may not have the right to question our research. Much less an ordinary scholar like yourself.
What made you think that you're in someone else's country and you said that their leader doesn't have a right to question your purposes? That's
I've done my
just dumb,
duty to
dude.
inform you. Don't make things difficult for yourself.
It would seem that my words have fallen on deaf ears. You can keep trying to deny it, but coming to Party's DI now? I'm pretty sure you're not just looking for herbs.
With all due respect, your baseless speculations will only lead to unnecessary trouble.
There's a bunch of herbs out there, dude.
Well, you
It's
only
very
have the
obvious.
Harbinger to blame. He knows nothing about keeping a low profile. I may be staying at Party's DI as a scholar, but that doesn't mean I'm no longer a forest watcher. It is still my duty to protect the peace and safety of the scholars who have contributed so much to Sumeru.
Then it seems our conversation has hit an impasse.
No one will lay a hand on you, Hypatia. Not on my watch.
Tainari! Are you alright?
I'm fine.
These Fatui have really crossed the line. Time to teach them a lesson.
There's no use resisting! Give us Hypatia!
Keep dreaming!
Yeah, Tainari! Beat him up!
Die, die, die.
The doctor's orders are absolute!
Yeah? You've been someone's lapdog for so long that you don't know anything else now!
Easy.
We're not getting anywhere. Traveler, Paimon, please go to Hypatia. We need to make sure they don't try to sneak around and attack from behind.
Got it!
I have a feeling that they already got Hypatia. Probably kidnapped already.
Hypatia's still here.
Oh,
Doesn't look
thank
like
God.
anyone's broken in.
Hmm? Is it a dummy? An illusion? Okay, never mind.
How is she?
Everything fine. She's sound asleep.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-oh. What's this?
So, you think this is over?
Bad boys carry much.
What? The Balladeer is here?
I've missed that look of abject horror. You've given me that look every time we meet.
But, where is he?
In our head. I can see him. So is he a spirit? A ghost? Wait. Is it because I made physical contact with Hypatia? Is the Balladeer in her consciousness? Oh, that's not good then.
I can hear all of your thoughts, you know. Don't you remember?
I already saw you the first time you came to Party's DI and made contact with Hypatia.
Oh, because of that connection.
I didn't need to do anything. It is her honor to be able to connect her consciousness with me.
Who are you talking to? It can't be the Balladeer, right? That's impossible.
It is him.
I know you must be curious. I might as well tell you that I decided to enter Hypatia's consciousness the moment I sensed your touch.
Oh, hack into her mind, just like Nahida's power. Interesting.
I wanted to observe you on a fool's errand.
Hey, Traveler! What are you doing?
Paimon, shut up.
My deification is nearly complete. All that's left now are just some final details. Do you understand? Even if you manage to rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali, it will be impossible for you to defeat a bona fide god like me.
We'll see about that. Dude, I beat your mama's ass. I'm gonna beat you also.
Is it wise to force that childlike god into a divine battle against me?
Nah, only us.
Scholars consider the God of Wisdom to be the sum total of their faith. It's how they can justify reverence for a god as they construct it. But this also shows that humanity's worship of gods is a combination of blasphemy and exaltation. It's truly laughable.
Nah, you're just an emo kid.
Yes. What is it?
You're acting more friendlier than usual, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, I'm in a good mood, which is why I'm talking to you like this.
We'll see about that.
What do you mean?
The Academy plans to infuse your consciousness with divine knowledge capsule. This is extremely risky. Even if the Academy's theory are correct and you manage to gain the wisdom of God, you probably no longer remain yourself. You will become the new greater Lord Teyvat. Oh, it's not wrong. I guess in a way that is correct. Even if it means losing yourself, would you still want to become a god? I guess it is worth it for him because he pretty much hates the world.
Those words almost make you sound like a friend who actually cares. But you're wrong. I'm different from all of you. I was
sure
born
about
to
that?
become a god. My entire life up until this point has just been a meaningless routine.
Nah, dude, you're just a puppet, a backup.
Just think about a sheet of paper. By itself, it holds no meaning. The content recorded on it is what gives it value. All I had recorded down before were some painful memories and boring human feelings. Such senseless drivel should have been erased a long time ago.
In other words, you're an emo kid. I understand.
Indeed, to me, the sight of you fools in your futile struggles is far more amusing. Tell me, just what has this world done for you to protect it with such zest and conviction?
An emo kid like you wouldn't understand.
I'm connected to your consciousness, so I can hear what you're thinking and sense the depth of your determination. This is a good conversation we're having. So here's a word of advice. Let go of your misguided guardian complex. You know nothing about the truth.
Do you though?
It'll be for your own good, as well as everyone else's. Humans are a species that can only find bliss in ignorance.
If that's truly what you believe, why did you keep your connection with Hypatia? Surely with the power you come to possess, you can cut her off with just a thought.
Ah, you've seen my affection for her. If you were in my position, I think you'd feel the same way. She peered into my consciousness and saw my past. Someone like that is qualified to become my first follower. All gods need followers. So Hypatia has been chosen. Her appearance heralds my imminent arrival at the throne of divinity, while her worship shall become my glory.
Is that so?
You're doubting me again? No matter. Soon, you'll know what kind of authority you're challenging.
If you truly cherish your follower, you should protect her from harm.
Who wants to hurt my devout follower?
Your fellow. It seems that the doctor does not wish for her to stay in Sumeru and continue receiving treatment here. Isn't that a little suspicious?
The doctor wants to hurt my first follower? How very amusing. Has anyone ever told you that you're not good at sowing discord? The doctor has never known his place. Even now, the puny human thinks himself capable of interfering in the business of the new god.
You sure about that? Isn't he the one who's helping you to become a god? You're underestimating. He's definitely more capable than you think.
You're still too naive if you think a few words will be enough to convince me to destroy the doctor. But I'm willing to give you a gift, just like my expression of affection towards Hypatia. It is an honor for you to be able to stand here and speak with me. As my listener, you will be rewarded.
That look on your face. What are you planning?
Both good things and bad things can be called gifts. After all, gods have never needed to be reasonable.
Paimon hears thunder! That person Paimon couldn't see was the Balladeer? Oh, he sure chatted with you for a while.
He's become milder, but somehow even more deranged.
Where is the storm headed?
It can't be. Is the battle using the gnosis to change the weather?
That means anyone outside is in danger! Let's go! Tighnari and Dia still must be fighting!
Are you sure you're gonna leave her behind like this? It might be a distraction, you know? Where are they? Oh! He's struck by lightning.
Oh! Have the Fatui retreated?
Still?
Hey! What happened to you?
I guess he did get struck by lightning cannonly.
He's hurt.
I'm fine.
Don't move. I've seen eremites get struck by lightning before. You need to rest.
Struck by lightning?
We were fighting, and just as things started looking grim, the weather suddenly became extremely strange. Lightning started attacking everyone, almost as if it were alive. Luckily, there were only two of us, and both of us were nimble enough to dodge most of the strikes. There were a lot of Fatui, though, and they were being torn to shreds by the bolts of lightning.
Well, at least that's a good thing.
With that, all the Fatui soldiers were forced to retreat.
Your wound.
It's all right. My wound aside, you look like you've seen something unpleasant. Is Hypatia all right?
She's okay for now, but I want to tell you something. You sure you're good, bro?
Hey, didn't I tell
You need a
not
rest.
to move?
Just in case. Let's go to Hypatia's place and talk about things there.
Okay, going back inside.
Thank goodness she's fine.
Nope, she's not fine.
Hey, how about taking care of yourself first?
I understand my condition. The wound is not fatal. I'll be all right.
Ugh.
You sure,
The
bro?
more you understand medicine, the worse of a patient you become.
I know. They always think they can push through the pain.
Oh, he sat down.
Let me rest for a bit. Sorry, traveler. Now you may start.
So that's what you were talking to the balladeer about? Oh, Paimon can't believe what he's thinking.
The Academia's God creation plan. How ridiculous.
If there is one thing that I still have question is, how is creating a god is going to solve the problems with Ermin's soul though? That is what I'm wondering. Maybe that is just a misinformation from the doctor in order to make them agree to the plan of creating a god.
That sounds, ambitious, I guess? Anyway, this is all way beyond me. As long as I can enjoy every day with a drink in my hand, tasty food in my stomach, and a good night's rest, that's enough. I'll only work when I have to. I must be the least ambitious person who's ever set foot in Party's DI.
Probably.
Don't say that. I haven't even thanked you for your help back there.
Don't mention it. Well, if nothing else, all this proves that the doctor really did have some urgent matter to attend to and left Sumeru in a hurry.
Yeah, and I also have a theory. I think the balladeer is the reason why the doctor is targeting Hypatia. The consciousness connected to the balladeer and she has seen his past.
Maybe the Fatui want to cover up some secret of the balladeer. Is that why they tried to seize Hypatia?
Oh, because Scaramouche is a Fatui Harbinger, so he probably knows some secret that the Harbinger doesn't want to be released to the outside world. Okay, that makes sense.
You said the balladeer claimed that Hypatia has seen his past. So, what could be there?
For now, I'm still not really
Have
sure.
you noticed? The balladeer is not happy with the doctor's actions. He thinks the doctor has no right to consider himself as his equal.
Because he has a god complex now.
So, if the doctor was to show up again, would the balladeer zap him with lightning?
Based on what the traveler has said, I think he would. Having the doctor gone benefits him as well as us. In other words, we've successfully completed this stage of the plan. The doctor is out of the picture now.
We still have one Fatui Harbinger left to deal with.
Hey, that's a big accomplishment!
I'm also happy for you.
Thank you for the help, Tainari. Make sure you rest up for now.
Please, do get some rest.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, that wraps things up for us here at Party's DI. Traveler, it's about time we rendezvous with the others at the Grand Bazaar.
Alright,
Let's continue to
Grand
keep a low
Bazaar.
profile. You can head there once you're ready.
Okay, I'm guessing that is part 2. Oh, wait until the agreed time. Oh, I should talk to them.
You can just focus on your plan. Leave Hypatia to me.
You good, bro?
My wound isn't going to get in the way. Oh. Okay. Guess I'll sit still for a little while longer.
Yeah, do that, please. You know, there they
All
are.
right, everyone is here.
How did everything go? Any luck with your missions?
Let's report back
What
one
was
by
his
one.
mission?
I'll start first. We've made the necessary modifications to the Akasha terminal. In addition, the props required are also ready.
Props?
I'll go next. The Traveler and I went to Party's DI. The situation was a bit complicated, but we found Tainari. Unfortunately, he was wounded during a fight.
Who is behind it?
The balladeer.
Well, that's the tough part. What should I say, Traveler? The Fatui or the balladeer.
Let's go with the balladeer.
After some back and forth, we confirmed that the doctor has left Sumeru by boat. He has something urgent to attend to back in Snezhnaya.
Yeah, that is something that interests me. I wonder what's the occasion that the Sarisa herself is asking for them to come back.
So, we've successfully removed the doctor from the picture. Also, Tighnari's already resting, so he'll be okay.
So Scaramouche is pretty much just ditched Tifatu Binja, I guess, because well, he kind of have a beef a little bit right now with the doctor, and then he's not responding to the call from the Sarisa, I believe.
Good.
Oh, Tighnari also asked us to tell you this message. Trust your own senses and experiences.
All right. I'll remember that. Everything also went smoothly on my side. The Eremites should have arrived at their destination by now.
Okay, that's good.
To avoid alerting the quarry, they will stay there for now.
I can't believe you actually got so many Eremites into Sumeru City.
It's all thanks to Ramon and his brave team. As well.
It appears to have been very effective. I'm glad to hear it.
But still, he doesn't like the plan though.
Well, is that everything? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Huh? Wait, you mean that's it?
Well, what else is there to discuss?
Shouldn't you end with some words of encouragement? You know, to fire us up now?
I don't think he's that type of person though.
Personally, I'd rather we all go home and get some rest.
True, that's a good idea.
I'll hate them.
We do need the energy. You know what? Maybe Dia should be the one who's going to pump us with spirit and all.
And if you wanted someone to say something to that effect, then I must reiterate that I'm here to strategize and not to lead.
But you are kinda a leader material though. But yeah, we do need the moral though. And like I said, I think Dia would best fit that role.
So you should find someone more suitable to do that.
You.
But I thought all of you academia big shots were great speakers.
Then I should remind you that I'm the scribe.
I know that. So what?
A scribe is responsible for recording meetings, not speaking.
Fine, whatever. Well, Sino doesn't seem to be much of a talker either. I guess that leaves it to my employer.
No, what about you?
Employer?
Yep, the Traveler hired me.
She asked for a smart as a payment.
That's right. So come on, boss. What do you have to say for the team?
Yeah, say something to boost morale.
Let me think.
What are you all doing here?
Oh, Nilo. Maybe Nilo should be the one who's going to give the speech.
Hey everyone. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Not at all. I was actually just about to go find you.
Judging from the group and all your serious faces, you were discussing something important, weren't you?
Yep, rescuing your dear beloved god.
But you also look like you're up to no good. Seems pretty interesting.
Welcome, Nilu. Would you like to join us?
Just like that, you trust her.
Huh? Join you? You mean you also want to discuss something important with me?
Yes, something very important. Nilu, are there any breaks in your performance schedule in the upcoming days?
Huh? Wait, you're seriously inviting me?
Nilo is shocked at first, but isn't long before she's...
I can't believe my ears. You are truly the bravest and most passionate people of Sumeru, well, that I've ever met.
Did he tell him? Did he tell her everything? Or did he deceive her into doing something?
Oh, right. The Traveler and Paimon are not from Sumeru, but you are awesome as well. That's right. I must admit that I'm a little scared. But I'll try my best for Lesser Lord Kusanali. If I can somehow use my abilities to help you, then count me in.
Remember, believe in yourself.
Okay. I'll get my friends at the Grand Bazaar to help us tomorrow.
Just remember not to say too much. Be discreet.
Yep, you got it.
All the preparations are done. Now, can we finally conclude this meeting?
Yeah, tomorrow we are going to save a god.
So, have you thought up what you'd like to say, boss?
It's hard to believe everything that has happened till now, and our action will bring change to many things tomorrow.
Yep. It's a grand plan and we're all super awesome.
That's right. So, just get a good night's sleep, everyone.
Well said. A good night's rest before an operation can be the difference between success
I
and
agree.
failure.
Well, Nahida did say that as well, right? During Act 2, where she just tell us to get a good rest instead of trying to figure out things that we couldn't figure out at that time.
Thankfully, I've had my place to myself recently. It's been nice and quiet.
Huh?
Oh, nothing.
Suspicious.
Alright, let's all go home and get a good night's sleep so we can be up early tomorrow. Okay. So I guess that means it's time to say goodnight now.
Good night.
Yep, good night everyone!
I have a feeling that something is going to go bad tomorrow morning. But let's just see how it goes.
Today is the Academia's Niagarbaha Day. We can finally put our plan into action. Alhaitham should be waiting for us. Let's go to the Academia and find him.
Hello, you two. Sleep well?
I don't think so.
Not really. Paimon got too nervous thinking about today and didn't fall asleep until the sun was almost up. What about you, Alhaitham?
Naturally, I slept just fine. After all, a good rest should be considered part of the plan, since energy is an important resource.
I agree.
You just want to show off how calm you are.
I guess so.
It's crucial to dissipate any tension before we execute our plan.
The only thing you're doing is being annoying.
Anyway, do you need me to go over the game plan again?
Please. We do need... Yeah, I want to confirm everything
Our
again.
target is Grand Sage Azar's office. Everyone in the Academia knows that's where the Grand Sage's console is. Only they can operate it.
Okay.
Many restricted commands and operations are executed via that console. I'm sure that console has a way to free Lesser Lord Kusanali.
You know, Paimon's been thinking, what kind of technology could let the sages imprison even a god?
Forbidden knowledge? Question mark?
That isn't something they could have accomplished with their scholarly talents alone.
Yeah.
In the Sanctuary of Surasthana, there's a device of Greater Lord Rukadevata's that she once used to isolate herself while meditating. 500 years ago, the Grand Sage at the time modified the device so that it could no longer be controlled from the inside. They were effectively trapping one god with the power of another.
Dang, that's cruel.
So, how are we gonna get to the Grand Sage's office?
Good question.
Don't forget, today is Niagarbaha Day, arguably the most important day to the Academia.
What is Niagarbaha Day?
The sages and core Academia personnel are busy loading the latest batch of research developments and legal decrees into knowledge capsules so that they can be entered into the Akasha.
Okay.
All the Darshan's researchers have their noses to the grindstone, and the Academia's grounds are flowing with all sorts of people. It's the perfect time for an infiltration. When the Grand Sage leaves his office to supervise the entering process, that's our cue to access the console and free the Dendro Archon.
When you put things that way, the plan feels a bit unrefined. I feel like there's very little opening for us here.
Well, yes. That's just the visible side of our plan, after all. If precedence holds, the Academia should have already started preparing for Nyagarbaha Day.
Okay.
Everyone should be in position. All that's left is for us to lead the charge.
Let's go.
So are we just gonna walk in through the front door, or...?
Yes. Were you expecting a stealthier approach?
I do actually.
Paimon can't think of a good comeback. Alright, it's all on Alhaitham if things go south.
I guess we'll just leave it to him then. Well, here's the strategist. I'm sure he has a good idea on what to do here, so let's just follow his lead for now. Oh, entering for the first time? Oh no, I think we can actually enter this previously. I think I did enter this once, if I remember correctly.
Scribe?
What's wrong?
Please, wait. Are you Scribe Alhaitham?
He is.
That's me. Is something the matter? I'm in a hurry.
No. I was just surprised to see you here. I had heard that the sages were looking for you not long ago, but I didn't know what for. And, also, please don't bring outside guests into the Academia.
This isn't looking good.
Outside guests? How did you arrive at such a conclusion? Your groundless inference shames the Haravatat Darshan.
What did you say? I'm the top student in Haravatat, and I earned 3rd place at the last Inter-Darshan debate. Don't look down on me!
That wasn't my intention. As your Haravatat senior, I just assumed that you possessed a greater aptitude for critical thinking. Look, based on what you already know, the purpose of my return and the reason they're here should be obvious.
Is that so?
The...
Wait a moment. Let me think. Don't tell me the answer.
The task that the Alhaitham were given, right? To monitor us. So I guess it kind of makes sense that he does have a reason to bring us into the Academia. Okay.
The sages search for you. A blonde-haired traveler. Outside guests. So, from the start, the sages weren't looking for you, but this traveler? And you were gone from the Academia for so long because...
We're searching for...
Yes, you've proven yourself as the top student in Haravatat. I surmise you've arrived at the correct conclusion.
Ooh, nice play, Alhaitham.
As I expected. Please, forgive me. I wasn't thinking clearly just now. Thank you for getting me back on track.
It's nothing. We'll be on our way then.
All right. Thank you for your contributions to the Academia, Scribe.
Oof, that was a close one.
What the heck just happened now? What did he just guess?
I'm afraid I don't know either.
Oh, so you just made that up.
You have no idea?
Mm-hmm. He convinced himself of whatever truth he came up with.
Wow, nice play.
That is the so-called pride of a scholar.
Ah.
If someone questions their academic facility, they will instantly feign understanding to keep up appearances.
Oh.
Nowadays, the Academia is rampant with this type of scholar. Their obvious farces of intellect only serve to highlight themselves as fools.
Wow.
In other words,
So
they
there
are actually
special ways
fools.
to deal with smart people. We don't even need to make up our own excuses.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't waste any more time. It would be problematic if we missed our window of opportunity. Let's go.
Yep, time is of the essence here. Onwards. House of Dana.
Is this the Academia's library?
Huge.
Indeed. Known as the House of Dana, it is quite possibly the most extensive special collections library in Teyvat.
There are a lot of students going through here. Is it really okay just to waltz right in?
The Academia marches to a fast beat, especially since it's Nagarbaha Day. They're all occupied with their own matters. Just act natural. Now, hurry along.
Right, whatever you say. Hopefully we doesn't attract any attention. Oh, we're using the traveler. You have to avoid people?
What's this platform for?
It's a lift that Academia personnel use to access higher floors.
Oh.
Are we gonna take it then? The Grand Sage's office is up there somewhere.
No, not right now. We can't guarantee that we won't run into the Great Sage. Let's step back and observe for now.
Good idea. We should wait for him to get out first.
You think the Grand Sage will exit from there?
Most
And
likely,
after
I
he
guess.
does, we'd sneak past him? Oh, Paimon thinks that's really dangerous.
Yeah, but I
Who
guess
knows?
that is the only option.
However, if we can confirm Azar's current location, our operation will be much safer if we...
Allow me to offer you a hint. If you wish to know his location,
oh fuck!
Look behind you.
Busted!
What's Grand Sage Azar doing here?
Oh no, did Scaramouche tell him? I guess we have to do this the hard way then?
Do not tell me you believed the Academia would not grow suspicious of you after such a prolonged absence, Scribe. An eyewitness had informed me of your whereabouts, so I came to personally welcome you.
Great Sage, I didn't expect you to care so much about me. I'm truly flattered.
I'm sure, but compared to you, I am far more interested in these two unexpected guests.
Oh.
You are the Traveler and Paimon, correct?
Surprising that he knows Paimon.
It's a pity that only now have I been afforded the opportunity to formally meet two of Sumeru's most esteemed guests. I do apologize for my lack of decorum.
It's not too late for you to stop.
Excellent. You immediately initiated discussion instead of attempting to prepare some perfunctory excuse. You clearly understand the situation at hand, and have no intention of making a reckless stand. The foot traffic here renders this place unsuitable for discussion. Please, follow me to my office.
Well, he's not hostile for the moment.
This place is crawling with guards. There's no way out for us.
All right then, Traveler. What did you wish to discuss with me? Today is Nagarbaha Day, so I still have many responsibilities to attend to. There is little time for idle chit-chat before I detain you all.
If the two are not to be trusted.
You seem to know quite a bit about our endeavors. If that is so, then you should be praising our great work, rather than using your trivial misgivings in a futile attempt to sway me.
Trivial?
Then tell me, what do the Fatui want from me?
A gnosis.
Worthless.
Why though?
Those are all completely worthless. Benefits, divine power. These materialistic words do nothing but debase our great work. Creating a god. Yes, we are using human wisdom to create a god. If humanity cannot attain
It's
omniscience
crazy.
and omnipotence, then we shall create a god to reveal them. This is the pinnacle of human wisdom. We shall regain a god's guidance at long last. No longer will we flounder in the interminable void of consciousness and knowledge. Even Ermin's soul will be freed from its plight.
You sure about that?
For our nation of scholars, this is the ultimate aspiration. No cost is too great to realize it.
You say it's the pinnacle of human wisdom, but in the end, you're still relying on the god.
You will never understand the rapture of having a god be born within your very hands. With your degree of knowledge, you cannot even comprehend such an emotion.
What about Lancelot? It's not like Sumeru didn't already have a god of its own.
Gods exist on a plane that far eclipses humanity's. Lesser Lord Kusanali, what can she even do? Care for the people? Fend off sandstorms? Fabricate silly fairy tales? These are but child's play for the academia. Does that make us equal to the gods?
Nope, you are lower than her. You are a trash, a scum.
We are a people favored by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Though I may have personally not seen it, our forefathers bore witness to true wisdom.
Oh, what if Kusanali is actually Rukkhadevata? What are you going to say then, Dad?
The ascension of the Lesser Lord has brought nothing but bewilderment to the scholars. They all ask, is that truly what true wisdom is supposed to look like? With that in mind, it is better to keep her isolated in the sanctuary of Suristhana, so our academy will not become embroiled in turmoil.
What a pathetic justification! Do you really think that only the super smart or powerful should be able to call themselves gods?
I don't know what I can say or do. The arrogance of scholar.
As per your judgment, Grand Sage, they are indeed dangerous individuals. Not only are they acting against the academia, but their ideologies have the potential to lead scholars astray. Looks like there really was merit in my assignment.
Oh, Hatham? Are you talking about us?
He's pretending to backstab us. I don't think he's betraying us right now.
Anyway, I've brought them to the academia as ordered, but it took some time and trouble. Oh, that reminds me. Here's the investigation report you had requested. It's a summary of my time spent with the Traveler, an array of information about him ready for your perusal.
Ah, it's a fake. It's a fake can knowledge. I don't believe it.
Oh, Hatham! So you're still on the academia side! We finally started to trust you!
He's playing us. He's playing us in order to play on these sieges. We've been set up.
Excellent. Detailed contents with no errors. I would expect nothing less than an immaculate report from the scribe. As it is Niagarbaha Day, I'll enter the information on you into the Akasha. Surely you know what that means.
We'll be monitored, just like Sino.
With the Akasha's calculation prowess, all of your actions will be predicted with an accuracy of at least 98%. Furthermore, your data will be updated in real time whenever new information presents itself. To put it into words you can understand, wherever you go, you will be walking under an invisible leash. This is Sumeru's greatest penalty for dishonest persons.
When you say dishonest person, does that also include your General Mahamatra?
Are you not familiar with the concept that great responsibility begets an equally great suspicion? In any case, you are Sumeru's most concerning
let's just clap
external
his ass.
variable. Locking you down will greatly decrease the chance of any undesirable outcomes coming to pass.
You're despicable!
Despicable? Perhaps from your perspective, but I suppose you had mentally prepared yourselves for this, no?
What do you mean?
Your ploy was to sacrifice the Traveler here, was it not?
Lord Azar, I know what you're trying to say, but I've been following your plan this entire time. Why are you doubting me at this juncture?
Must I delineate your entire plan? Very well. I will spell things out. First off, I received an eyewitness report that you were spotted with the Traveler to Caravan Rebat. However, you immediately departed for the desert and escaped surveillance range. Judging by the time, you all likely encountered the truant General Mahamatra in the desert. Am I correct?
Maybe Paimon shouldn't have mentioned Sino just now.
The Academia had not received correspondence from its scribe for a prolonged time. You were also in the company of the Traveler, a close associate of Lesser Lord Kusanali and General Mahamatra Sino, who had defected from the Academia.
Ooh, but what about Dia? Does he have info on Dia? Or even Nilo?
With their instigation, what was the probability that you would betray the Academia? Rationally speaking, 50%? 70%? What do you think?
Regardless, that's only a guess. The facts are that I've brought the Traveler right before you, and I gave you my report.
Indeed, your boldness deserves praise. To think that despite status as an outlander, the Traveler is still willing to sacrifice for the sake of your plan.
Well, I wouldn't say
If I'm
sacrifice.
correct, you have a contingency plan to save Lesser Lord Kusanali and ruin our great work. Sneak into the Academia on Nia Garbaha Day, using Alhaitham's status as the scribe. For there is a good chance that an opportunity to save the Lesser Lord will arise. Should your intentions be discovered, Alhaitham will turn traitor and sacrifice the Traveler, thus proving his innocence. He can then stay inside the Academia and continue searching for a way to proceed forward. As for Sino, according to the Akasha's calculations, he will soon return to the Academia and confront me in person. I suppose this is also a part of your plan?
Oh, little did he know that we actually got a group of Eremite people.
You'll see me as a traitor regardless of what I say. No? Even if you impugn me, it would have little effect on you all.
You misunderstand. Losing our scribe would irreparably damage the Academia's regular operations and the development of Sumeru's future academic systems. However, under the current circumstances, even that is trivial compared to what we stand to gain from our great work.
He is delusional.
You said that I betrayed the Academia, but you, Azar, you've betrayed all of Sumeru, betrayed its Archon.
So flight has turned to fight at long last. Guards!
Sino, little help here. Well, I guess we're doing this on our own. Oh, cutscene. Wait, what's with Sino? Oh, I'll hit him. What's wrong? Wait, he's going mad? Did he use the divine capsule? Oh shit. That's not good.
Well, what do we have here? So you stole that divine knowledge capsule?
Traitor! You traitor!
Even the most rational scholar will yearn for the power of a god in a moment of desperation.
Come on,
Aren't you doing the
Alhaitham.
exact same thing as me, Alhaitham? Unfortunately for you, no god will lend you their power.
Azar!
Who's that? Oh, it's just a
He's
normal
gone
guy.
completely insane.
That's not good.
Take him to the Matra and exile him to Aru village. Then find someone to take these two to the confinement room. I'll deal with them later.
Grand Sage, we've finished all required preparations for Nyargarbaha Day. We may begin to enter the capsules now.
Excellent.
You
may begin.
Alhaitham might be doing that on purpose and sneak one. Yes. Oh, you sneaky little bastard. He did sneak the cat knowledge. I think that was the one that he was recording from us, right? I think that was what he is doing. Maybe that that knowledge has some truth. Paimon, calm down. That's enough, Paimon. I don't think the gods can hear us anymore.
Yeah. Paimon got a bit carried away there. How was Paimon's acting just now? Great, huh?
Oh, so they do know the plan. So that was the plan actually. Wow. Marvelous. Not bad. But worse than mine.
Everything's going according to plan so far. We made it into confinement, and Alhaitham's probably done with his part too.
So he was acting going mad. Okay. That was close.
We even managed to trick Grand Sage Azar. Alhaitham sure knows how to cook up a plan.
That was unexpected.
What are we doing next? Paimon has trouble remembering things when she's worked up.
Let's review what we discussed during our strategy meeting. Oh,
Paimon thinks it went something like this.
flashback.
Apart from that, we still have yet another goal in the first stage of our operation, which is to send the Traveler to the confinement room.
Oh, so that was the purpose. But why though? Is there something in the confinement room?
Why do we want to get him locked up on purpose?
He's always been the person the sages are most afraid of, as well as the greatest obstacle to their successful implementation of their plan. They are very aware of the risk he poses to them.
I see.
Once the Traveler is imprisoned, the sages will likely think that everything is under control.
Ah, so that was the plan, to let them drop their guard.
And with their guard down,
yep,
the next phase of our plan will have a much higher chance of success.
Okay.
I can already see the pompous looks on their faces.
Well, we already seen that.
Oh, that's a super tricky plan. But Paimon still thinks it's not really worth it.
That isn't the only reason, of course. He has a more important task once he's in confinement.
And what's that?
According to the Academia scholars in Ramon's custody, Lesser Lord Kusanali has sealed off her consciousness in the Akasha ever since she was captured by the Doctor.
Okay.
That way, they can't pry any more information from her. Even if we break into the sanctuary of Surasthana, it will take time to awaken Lesser Lord Kusanali's consciousness. We need to do that in advance.
Is that what happening in the teaser? So she was put into the samsara?
So our job is to wake up Nahida! Okay, totally worth getting thrown in jail for.
The confinement room is inside the Academia, close to the sanctuary of Surasthana.
Oh.
It's a completely enclosed space, and you won't be receiving any visitors.
So we can sneak in then.
I'll work with Ramon's scholars to make some modifications to your Akasha terminal. Once you're in, get as close as you can to Lesser Lord Kusanali and try to connect to her consciousness.
Ah, I see. Okay, so we're gonna try to connect to her just by being close. Okay, hopefully that does work though.
However, as for whether she'll actually wake up, that will depend on our luck.
That's not good then.
Oh, no wonder you've been wearing your Akasha terminal today.
Ah.
It's the one that modified. Paimon thought they'd take our Akasha terminals when they locked us up in here. Were they being careless?
No, they want to monitor us, so that's why they're letting us wearing it. That wasn't because of carelessness, but because of their arrogance. Yep, they think the Akasha is completely under their control.
So what now?
Alhaitham is actually very smart. I didn't know that people, well, aside from the Doctor, can actually have enough knowledge to modify an Akasha terminal. We first need to find a place with best signal in this room. Get the most get the highest Wi-Fi signal. Then we try connect with Nahida.
Sounds easy enough. We can finally talk with Nahida after all this time. Let's do it.
Do it.
There's a light flashing on your Akasha terminal. It's
Ah.
the faster it blinks, the better the signal.
I see. Is this it? Oh.
Is this the right spot? Are you getting anything?
Wait, do you not see that? It's faint, but I have signal. We're trying to connect with her consciousness now.
Please work.
We need the Aranara to help. Nahida, is this a realm of consciousness? Oh, a realm of consciousness. Like Ace realm of consciousness? Nahida. Bring some food. Oh, there's a barrier. Some sort of barrier. Yep.
Nahida!
Oh, he speak.
Hey, Nahida!
He speaks again. She isn't reacting. Seems like she can't sense me. Oh, she cannot hear us.
When did it first start?
She went through samsara again, I
It
think.
started from the moment I was born.
Is this from the teaser?
I want to become a worthy Archon, so I've kept studying. Kept listening to my people and their hearts. Kept looking for a way to save Irminsul, so I can catch up. Catch up to Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But I'm stuck in the sanctuary of Sarasthana. The sages are creating a god to replace me.
No, don't lose hope. Your people love you.
And I'm forced to lock my consciousness in this boundless darkness.
Nahida!
Breakthrough. I can't do that again.
Nahida!
Use Dendro. Bro, Dendro, you're using the wrong element.
It's so quiet here.
Acer, you're using the wrong element.
I don't think I've ever actually listened to my own inner voice. Do Archons have them?
Maybe.
Archons have them? Have I been doing the right thing?
You have.
Am I really not needed?
No. Just wait. Al-Hatem is going to make the people realize that you are here.
How do I really feel about all of this? It's so quiet here.
Since you're the god of wisdom,
Who's that?
you've known the answers to all these questions since the very beginning, haven't you?
Huh? Who's that? That sounds like Lumine. Have they met before?
Who are you? Whose voice is that? It sounds familiar.
Or is it Dunyasar? I don't know.
You're right, though. I won't ignore my own voice anymore.
Boom.
Nahida! Nahida?
Traveler.
Did you wake me up? Thank you. Why are you here?
We're here to rescue you. Are you alright?
Yay! More voice line for Ether. For MC. We need more of it.
I'm fine. It's just... when I think of everything that's happened to me, I feel really angry now.
You should have been angry ages ago.
Yep. You need to slap these sages. Nope. We did it?
Huh? Oh, you're back! How's everything?
Nahida is awake.
That's wonderful news! Great! We weren't locked up for nothing.
Alright, so what now?
When you went to wake up Nahida, Paimon was listening for any sounds outside.
Okay.
You were out for a long time. There are fewer and fewer scholars going about now. You think everyone's done with their Garba Day stuff?
I guess they finished entering all the knowledge capsule.
Yep, so that means our next act is Nilu's performance.
Oh, so this is the one that we saw in the trailer. I guess it's gonna be a distraction. Hey guys, Future Crew here, just going to cut off this video here. I was initially planning to split this into 3 parts, but I think it would be better if I just split this into 2 parts instead, so that you guys don't have to wait that long in order to watch the rest of the quest. So part 2 is going to come out next week, so I hope you guys look forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys do, please leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel. It will be really helpful to us, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.